Hey everybody, Marcos Villegas here with Andre Ward, who rematches Sergey Kovalev coming up June 17th at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas, Nevada. Very highly anticipated rematch, Andre. It's one in which a lot of people wanted to see again. Coming into the first fight, when we were all talking to you, we felt it was a 50-50 fight. Now that it's a rematch, do you still see it being a 50-50 fight?
It's tough to say, I guess mentally I got to give him that, It's my job to create some distance and some space in terms of the way I win this time around. So I'll give him 50-50 again.
Seeing that you've already had 12 rounds with him and that this is a rematch, how does that change your approach and how you see Sergey in this fight?
I just have a lot more data. It's just my brain is like a computer. Once I've seen you on film one time, that's one thing. Once I've been in there with you, that's something totally different. And though you can make adjustments, you're not going to make that many adjustments in 4 months. None of us can, So I expect him to be better. I give him that. I'm certainly going to be better. And I'm just looking forward to the challenge. I'm looking forward to rising to the occasion. And, I'm not a guy that comes in there and berates my opponent or talks down to him. I actually pump him up. I stay on my ground, let him know that I'm going to be there. But, I'm preparing for the best Sergey. Coach changes, everything they got going on over there, all the, the excuses he made and the things he said he wants to change. He's had plenty of time to do that, and I expect the very best Sergey Kovalev June 17th.
I know you're a highly competitive guy. You do not like to lose. Yeah, I know. I've been covering you for a while. Does it bother you at all, or has it bothered you that the first fight was so close?
It does. Yeah. It does, because just simply because of what you said, I'm a competitor. And, I've just put it on myself to do a better job, And I could easily rest on my laurels and say, well, he was the champ, and, he was the bigger guy, and he's supposed to be this, and look, I still won. Not going to do that. I still keep the bar high and say, no, we did a good job. Happy for the way we responded. We did what we had to do, but we can do better. So absolutely, as a competitor, I want to win with a greater margin, and if he gets reckless, he can get stopped.
Speaking about better, was he a better fighter than what you expected coming into the fight and then after what you saw?
Not really. I think it was what I expected, and like I said, if anything, I expected more. He did what he had to do in terms from a strategy standpoint in the first 3 or 4 rounds. He did that. Actually, the first 3 rounds, because after the knockdown, I think I won on all judges' scorecards, maybe the third. I don't know. I got to check. But he did what he had to do early, and I take responsibility for that. And I don't think it was a matter of him being better than me. I think it was just he implemented his game plan, and I didn't, and I had a slow start. And I typically don't start that slow. So I got to fix that. I took ownership for that. I got to figure that part out, and kudos to him for what he did. But if somebody's, light years better than you, you're going to see it throughout the duration of a fight. And I don't think he showed that, I think that, I showed that midway and in the second half of the fight, but I got to show it for all 12 rounds this time, 12 rounds or less.
Speaking with Berto and then reading the interviews that you've done, you're saying that you feel like you're moving a lot better now, that your legs are there. Explain to me, why weren't the legs there in the first fight, and what's the difference? I
mean, the legs is part of it, we had a couple of hiccups last camp.
Like injuries?
Something like that, somewhat like injuries. I had some issues, and it affected the training. Like Verge said, I couldn't do the road work. I couldn't move and do certain things I needed to do to get my legs in the condition that I wanted to. Never brought it up before or after, but Verge brought it up, so, I'm kind of talking about it right now. Wish he would have checked with me first, but yeah, so it was certain things, and I haven't had that issue, but even more than that, it's not just that. It's just before this camp started, even in my pre-camp, just mentally, I just went back to some of the things I did, years ago, which is having fun. And when I unlock my brain and I don't have a certain specific standard on how I'm trying to do things and I just flow, all kind of things come out. My legs, my hands, if you see like even my shadow boxing, like it's unscripted. Like I can't tell you what the game plan is. I have a general idea what I want to do, things that I want to stay away from, but man, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to flow and I'm going to do me and I'm going to surprise and shock me. And I've been doing that consistently in this camp. So All of that is there. The having fun is there. Yes, the movement is part of it, but it's everything. It's the type of punches I'm landing. It's the the amount of punches I'm landing. Everything, defense, offense, the whole nine. And when Verge looks at me, he's gonna give me an honest assessment, and he's been seeing the same thing.
Did you feel restricted then from what you're saying in the first fight in terms of approaching it or the plan?
I mean, not even just the first fight, but just the last couple years. If I look back, it's like I feel like I'm better than that. It's like, yes, we won, we looked good, we did what we had to do, but it's like levels to this. It's like when Sugar Ray fought Duran the first time. You could say, man, it was a good fight. You lost, barely lost, but it was a good fight. But he had another level. Then you see in fight number 2, you see Sugar Ray having a good time, no mas. It's levels to it, and that's the level you're gonna see in this fight, June 17th.
You think you can make him say it no mas?
Anybody can say no mas. Yeah. He's not exempt from that. Mm-hmm. And that's what you got to do with a guy like that. You can't just beat him, you got to clown him. And you obviously want to do it and be responsible. And I'm not talking about getting reckless, but I'm gonna just go out there, man, and have fun and enjoy myself, man. And I'm gonna touch that tank. And I'm gonna be on him, and he's gonna try to box. He's gonna try to do some different things. Me and Verge, we talking about what he's gonna try to do, and you never know until you get in there. But he's gonna try to make some adjustments. I understand that, but that's the beauty of rematches. That's what this thing is all about. Okay, you thought you won. I feel like I know I won. Now we get to do it again. So this is the beauty of it, and I love the moment. I love the situation. I love what's up ahead. I'm excited about it, and I got pressure on myself, good pressure. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to give up my belts. I got them the hard way. And I'm not saying he didn't. But let's see if he has what it takes. If he made enough adjustments. If everything he's been saying, we're going to see June 17th. And everything I've been saying, we're going to see June 17th. That's why you need to watch this fight.
It's been a lot of headlines popping up in the last few days about John David Jackson maybe coming over to help with the training camp. Talk to me about that and how that all came about, and if the reports were in fact true that you guys did want to actually bring him in seriously to train you.
Nah, we didn't want to bring him in. He asked to come in.
He said the other way around. He said that your team went and reached out.
What else is he gonna say? What is he gonna? I mean, in that situation, what are you gonna? Nobody gonna say, "Yeah, you got me." He's gonna try to spin it, and it's just too much of a track record, And I never communicated with the guy personally. That's not my deal, But my team, they entertained it as they should. And I told him, I said, "Okay, see what he's talking about. This is gamesmanship. This is a game of chess." So. But the only problem is for him is that while we were deliberating and trying to figure out, what was this guy's motive, what is he doing, he gave up a lot of information. He gave up a lot of information about what they did last camp, things he was trying to tell Kovalev to do. He wasn't listening. This guy doesn't listen to anybody. During the fight, but before the fight started, they silenced him and told him, "You talk at this point in the fight. After that, let my Russian coach talk." And then even after the fight, he told Kovalev, "Hey man, Ward took the fight to you. You need to change some things." And he said Kovalev got violent with him verbally, and told him, "You need to change some things." How else would I know this if it wasn't told to us? So, if you gotta look at just the logic of it, man. I have one of the best coaches I feel like in the world. No disrespect to John David. We don't need John David Jackson. We won the first fight. There's no need. I'm not the type of guy. I don't benefit from saying, how does he eat? How does he sleep? What type of guy is he? I know enough of it. I just danced with him for 12 rounds. That's all I need to know. I'm not the kind of guy that wants to know every detail about the guy I'm fighting. It's not for me. And Verge certainly doesn't need any help coaching me. He's been coaching me since I've been a kid at every level. So if you look at the logic of the situation, it just doesn't add up. And furthermore, who just picks up the phone randomly one day and says, "I'm going to try to pluck the head trainer of the guy I'm getting ready to fight," especially after everything that he said about us leading up to the first fight? Where would you, first of all, that's not even our character. We wouldn't do that. And second of all, where's the logic in that? Who would take that risk to just say, "Hey, we're wondering if you want to come"? It makes no sense at all. You had to prompt us and talk to us and talk to my lawyer, who they have a casual relationship. They have a couple fighters that they have in common. It's just damage control, man. Why would we do that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I would think if you're asking me a question, why maybe to play mind games with him, maybe to cause a little bit more turmoil in the camp?
We entertained it for that reason. But we wouldn't go out of our way to do that for that reason. Like, that fell on our lap. I'm minding my own business, and I get a phone call and said, man, you won't believe this. John David Jackson, oh, really? Said what? Is the opportunity available? And we took, I go through my process. This is before I even brought it to Verge. Went through my process, vetting it, talking to, Josh Dubin, my lawyer, James Prince. They're doing their job. And, going through the process. And then, he's asking for absurd amounts of money. And I'm like, look, man, like, to be honest with you, like, this is a head play. This isn't even like a real situation. There's no way that he can come in and command that. They got him way down. This is, again, during the vetting process. And, I had to try. And, like, these are all things that are documented, things that he's been saying, things that he said. And I think he just went too far, man. He broke a cardinal rule. He knows how the game works. He's a former fighter, former champion. You don't do that. Now, if you cut ties with Kovalev and say, I'm done, I want to be with you guys, that's a little bit different. We're not dumb, man. We knew the guy was still playing both sides. We knew he was thinking about going back but was upset. And in his anger, he went too far and he put himself out there and he tried to recoil and it just came out, man. So I think it's just not in our character, bro, to reach out. Like who does that? Like, just randomly for no reason. Like, I don't know. To me, it doesn't make any sense.
On an ending note, Andre, for this rematch, I've been hearing from Berto, from other people that I've talked to in your camp, that they really do feel that a knockout is possible in this fight, and that they tell me you really want to target the body in this fight, given the success you had with the first fight in terms of from the 5th round on over. Is that safe to say that that is a priority in this fight, and you can see that happening given the body work that you want to do? Yeah,
it's not just the body, man. It's everything. You gotta establish something to the head before you can get the body, as well. So it's just a little bit of everything. That's a piece of the puzzle, but that's not everything. It's just, again, it's just about going out there, man, and putting on a show. Simple as that. He's gonna bring his best, and I'm gonna bring my best. I just feel like my best is gonna be more than enough.
So what makes the difference then?
In terms of
this rematch then, with you giving that?
What do you mean?
What will make the difference, you think, ultimately?
I just think it's the way it's gonna be done this time. Definitely want to have a different start. If I had a different start in this fight, we wouldn't be having this conversation about how close it was. So the start is important, and it's just I don't know, man. At this level, man, it's not big things. It's a lot of little things, and that accumulates into a big thing. So it's hard to articulate and explain. That's why we got to tune in.
Well, they say that in life, it's the little things that count. So I feel where you're coming from on that. Andre Ward, of course, defending his light heavyweight belts against Sergey Kovalev in this rematch on pay-per-view at the Mandalay Bay, coming up in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yes, sir.